Okay, hopefully. Let me make sure that the delay is active. I think it is because I don't even see a stream yet, so it looks like I have to wait 2 minutes before it even comes on. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're missing much. I believe xeSeek's going headhunter build. I will look at it more in a second.
A player's forces are under attack.
Also, okay, there is delay. Stream is just at the start of the match right now, but I am at 2 minutes in and the heroes already spawned. We have Farseer, we have Archmage. We'll look more in just a second. I just want to make sure I get everything set up. And posted in the community stream section.
A player's forces are under attack. A town is under siege.
Okay, bottom right we have our purple human player Dazzle. He did go pretty standard, gets an early arcane tower, definitely a safe play, and I think generally can be quite strong just to deter the orc player. Obviously you prefer to not have to spend the resources if possible, but the amount of safety this one arcane tower gives is just so huge and makes it so much easier to do everything. Yeah, we see him just trying to get some damage on the headhunters here. xeSeek doing some nice kiting. Our yellow orc player at the top left decided to go for headhunter build, Farseer, and looks like a fairly normal tech timing as far as I can tell. Interesting burrow placement. I believe this is a block against like grunts and heroes and stuff. Yeah, he does have a shop coming, so if he needs to back off, he will be able to buy salves and so on. Yeah, so far both sides just trying to do some chip damage here and there. Dazzle on the headhunters, xeSeek on footmen, and maybe the archmage here. I assume these start targeting the archmage. Yeah, we do see the archmage starting to drop down. We do see a headhunter going down though, and Dazzle reaches level 2 off that, which is actually quite huge. Not only to limit the headhunter count, but to reach level 2 and get that aura active helps a lot for the human player. Okay, so
A player's forces are under attack.
Okay. Yeah, Archmage, a bit weak. He does have a regen scroll now. We might see Wolves try to go in and cancel at least the Archmage's heal. But with the Arcane Tower, maybe with some... Okay, he actually just goes for the Footman. Nice pick off. Cancels 2 salves as well. And I think the Arcane Tower actually denied at least one of those Wolves, maybe even both. So that's you know, a little bit of misplay from the human, but he did already reach level 2, so not terrible for him. He has defend now, but his footmen have not fully healed yet, and without that heal, without his second hero quite yet, I think he should actually be maybe sitting further back in his base for now, and then coming out after. Because like right when you get this MK, that's when you can really put pressure on. Like every bolt ends up being a kill. But as is, you're kind of just getting a tiny bit of damage here and there, but the orc is able to just kite too well and pull back. We have an double Sanctum coming out. So likely going to see Breaker Caster and a focus on getting the MK as high level as possible. xeSeek on the other hand has gone TC, has a Lodge, a Bestiary as well, and maybe tier 3. Actually was not expecting the Bestiary. I thought it might just be like Headhunters into quick tier 3 and then I don't know. And yeah, he's getting brute strength. So he's planning to do the Headhunters early into a grunt transition. Headhunters so that you can harass and creep better. And then of course grunts so that you can actually combat the dual sanctum later. We have seen this become more popular lately. Shao Game showed it against Hipposaur earlier, yesterday, in the Group A match of Washed Up League. Yeah, TC level 2, he has a Scroll of the Beast, which actually can be quite powerful before there's a high breaker count. The human, on the other hand, looking to steal some creeps. He did travel quite far to get over here, but yeah, it is a fairly easy camp. Just a long time it took to travel that distance.
A player's forces are under attack.
Or I'll call them, I guess, or whatever.
Hold on.
A player's
Yo.
forces are under attack.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool, dude.
What up? So yeah. So far, fairly standard. The human's been going for a lot of Seeks creeps actually, going across the map for them, and it's been a bit slow creeping because he doesn't really have his army with him. But if he can manage to get the levels, I guess it can still be good. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, look at this army in the human base. He has like 4 breakers, 2 sorks, and a priest just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, it's odd that he chose to kind of maneuver himself around the base that way.
Yeah, I definitely thought he would start moving to the top right somewhere and then like meet up with his army, but looks like instead he's just going to TP in, and now he's grouped up. But the problem is, because of the slow creeping, he never really got MK3 yet, whereas Seek has already reached 3-3.
You know, that is a classic Seek move. He's been doing that for so long,
A
just
player's forces
coming in,
are
poking the
under
base,
attack.
forcing a TP, and then just running away. but you know, typically that's what most orcs do these days anyways, I guess.
So let me add a keybind here. Actually,
it looks like the human's gonna get level 3 here for the MK.
yeah, that'll definitely be huge because that's what he needs. I don't think he needs to pull the Archmage back. Generally, you still would because the MK levels are much more important. But oh, and we do see level 2 Water Elemental, which I also kind of disagree with. With how late he got level 3, I think it's generally better just to take Aura level 2 and completely rely on your casters and MK. Because you don't really care much for the elementals anymore once Shaman are in this high of count and plenty of mana, right?
Very true. Yep. They definitely become a waste.
And he has Adept training just about to finish. He has already reached his food cap, but xeSeek has already broke to 59. Going in with some Lightning Shield Wolves as well and Chain Lightning. Gotta be a little bit careful with those peasants. With this farm coming out, he will have 2 more breakers starting production. Yeah, this fight is going to rely a lot on how good the claps are on the MK. You see a bolt coming out though. Kodo a little caught out. Might be able to take that down. Should be quite huge to get rid of the Kodo right away. And then, yeah, clap coming in again. Very nice clap, hitting like 6 units. Let's see if xeSeek can get a Devour off right before. Okay. Did not manage to get another Devour off. It definitely would have been big for him if he could have. Overall, I think that was a good hold by the human because he was down 10 food at the start of that, and just, you know, being able to fight off the orc in that situation is what you want, because now he can even sit on 50 for a little longer and then you know, break later if he chooses.
Yeah, and in that fight, the TC was kind of caught in the back there for like the first half of that fight, so there was a lot of damage the human was able to get in since that stun wasn't in there, getting extra slow, a little bit more healing.
A player's forces are under attack.
And then a little awkward, Dazzle kind of broke right away to 51, now he's at 53. I feel like after you fight off the orc like that, probably would be good to just take it slow, sit at 50 a bit longer. But yeah, we'll see how it works out for him. xeSeek's army is definitely scary. He's already pushed to 65 food, so maybe Dazzle felt he just needed to push into upkeep already as well. And we do see him heading up to the red camp now. They already took the easier red camp at the bottom. Yeah, this one should get him level 4 on both of his heroes, which is actually quite huge because he has not taken level 2 chain yet. And then also, of course, level 2 aura helps quite a bit. So getting those online is definitely pretty big for the orc.
Yeah, and we have xeSeek here at 68 food, Dazzle at 54, so big advantage army size, or army-wise for xeSeek. But you know, with all those breakers, if he's got to make sure that TC is in the right position, because if he can't get those stomps off, those breakers are going to be a big headache, especially if that MK is in there clapping everything away.
A player's force.
Yeah, Dazzle definitely broke too soon, especially because he also, I believe, bought Invuln as well as Tome of Retraining to Blizzard. And when you're gonna buy all these items, I feel like it's much better to just sit at 50 a bit longer first.
This is risky.
Yeah, we do see him going in for a fight here, but it's going to be really hard for our human, even with Clap Blizzard. Ooh, Archmage. Archmage getting a little caught in the front. But there's 2 armor upgrades, and so all of Dazzle's units are not going to be doing much at all. It's just completely reliant on his spells. But without having a high enough food count, you just don't get enough time to get all these spells off before your own army's dead. MK drops, and that's, you know, he is actually getting quite a few kills now. I think xeSeek just maybe used his heal scroll too soon. Didn't get a second one. He is still ahead, but man, the human actually put in a lot of work there for how big of a deficit. Yeah. This blizzard, however, kind of hitting his own peasants there. Yeah, we do see him starting to pull out now. And it's actually going to be quite rough to fight level 3 wolves. They're very good at just chasing down units, denying expansions, harassing workers. Rebuy on the MK.
Burrow, yes. Yes, sir, this is Jedi.
I didn't get a...
Oh, what's up?
Yeah,
that... Well, a couple times there, the momentum swung. For a second, it looked like xeSeek was overwhelming, and then that blizzard clap started coming in. But, you know, xeSeek's at 51 food to 26 for Dazzle. He's just been better at keeping that army size up, macroing, and making sure that Dazzle was never able to get an overwhelming amount of breakers or anything like that.
Yeah, I think if Dazzle had a little bit better management of his resources earlier and like not breaking into 50 right away, maybe he could have been in a really good position there, because with that blizzard, with that clap, he actually put in a lot of work. He just did not have enough to back it up. When, you know, because the fight started with what, 54 versus 71 or something. That's a pretty crazy difference, actually.
And, you know, that was definitely ideal for xeSeek having the food advantage, because if the armies are even sized, that clap and blizzard is pretty devastating.
Yeah, if your army size is too small for the orc, you end up just not being able to kill fast enough against the heal of priests. And before, of course, your own army just dies to all the magic damage. Do see control magic coming out, stealing that wolf. Definitely can be pretty powerful. We might see him research magic sentry soon on his arcane tower to spot these wolves as well. So far he is not, though, and yeah, we see more peasant harass coming out. That's definitely going to hurt, and that's one of the big worries you always have once orc reaches 5 on the Farseer.
Yeah, that magic sentry is a must, especially against Farseer.
And we do see xeSeek just setting up an expansion now. He did drop down to 50 food so that he's earning a bit more gold, not in upkeep. He did put up a slow expansion though, because yeah, he never actually reached tier 3. And I guess that's because he decided to convert into grunts rather than stick with the headhunters.
The player's forces are under attack.
Dazzle is starting to get close to some level ups as well. Level 5 Archmage could be quite strong 3. If he just goes for more damage, I guess. Whereas xeSeek has kind of already, you know, reached his key levels. The orc heroes will be quite tough to fight off.
Yeah, no invuln or mana pot on the MK, so not much sustain here.
Yeah, no heal scroll either. xeSeek does have a heal scroll, however, which will be very strong to cancel out some of this magic damage. Gets a good stomp off on everything, including the Blizzarding Archmage, and gets another very good stomp off. MK dropping low, Roar coming out, and there's... Ooh, he does manage to save it with the cloak. But... oh no! He's got stomped into oblivion there. No, MK.
GG.
I think there were some good moments for Dazzle there, but just I feel like his creeping could have been a little bit more efficient. Maybe regrouping with his full army sooner, and then also pushing past 50 food a little bit later, because he kind of just pushed into like 51, 53 food right away, and then he was literally stuck at 51, 53 food 2 minutes later as well. Like he didn't move anywhere in his food count, and that just didn't really help him out too much.
Was that was game 1, right?
Yeah. And then game 2 is Dazzle 2.
All right.
Yeah, he asked if I'd put a delay, so I did. And I mean, I guess it's fine.
Oh, what's for the delay?
Yeah.
It's all good.
I mean, some people prefer it, and I can understand that, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, here we go. We got at the bottom left our yellow human Dazzle. Likely we'll see another standard opening, but it is still debatable whether he will try to expand or just tech. I think this map is probably more likely to see a tech because of how the gold mines are positioned. And then at the top right, we got our blue orc player xeSeek, and he will most certainly go a Farseer again. The question is, will he also go Headhunter?
Will we see the blade?
I think the blade is unlikely, but...
Yeah, right, dude. He's feeling it. No blade.
No blade.
We blade second.
But yeah, so far so standard. Do see a peon scout though. Doesn't always happen, but definitely can be quite useful to see where the opponent goes at the start. Maybe even slow them down if the opponent starts attacking it. Can also be particularly useful if you are planning to make an extra wood peon anyways.
Yeah, typically xeSeek does like to make that extra peon, so it's nice that he's using that to scout. Because usually for myself, I don't send it because I'm going to go over there the Farseer way anyways, usually to the base. But I guess yeah, as you said, if you want to make sure you know which direction to go, that way you can just go straight for that Archmage.
A little bit of miss micro by Dazzle here. You typically want to summon the elemental before engaging the creep so that it doesn't get ensnared right away. It is tanky now, but as you can see, he does have one peasant already at 100 health. So if xeSeek...
And he lost 70 HP on the Archmage as well.
Yeah. xeSeek finds that peasant later, he might be able to pick it off. Dazzle did put it in the gold mine though, which is pretty good of him. Swapping out with a healthy peasant.
xeSeek slowly chipping away at the Archmage in the base. Even though it's just one, he's already taken out like over 100 HP, I think.
Getting that Archmage low is always huge. Makes it a lot harder for him to move out on the map. And xeSeek did decide to not actually make an extra peon, but since he didn't lose the scout peon, I guess it's fine. Do you see a tech coming out for him now? Dazzle, on the other hand, went for 3 farms and an arcane tower, which means his tech is quite delayed from what it could be. But maybe it's okay. Depends how soon you want your MK. It can definitely be really powerful to get him as soon as possible against Headhunters.
You know, at this point, I think xeSeek really needs to just distribute damage amongst all these footmen, just to make life hard for Human as he tries to creep.
We do see one footman dropping quite low. The arcane tower might be able to save it if Dazzle's monitoring where it's
Players'
moving.
forces are under attack.
Oh, xeSeek's wolves actually ran out there. But another footman does not get away this time, ends up being picked off. We do see a headhunter dropping low. Another one was already low and had to get microed away. xeSeek will be able to salve these up later, but he hits the headhunter. That's actually pretty big. Does not get him to level 2, but it does make it so that if he gets like even one wolf now, he will be level 2 on that Archmage. And as you know, getting that aura up as soon as possible is pretty important. We see an early Arcane Vault coming out. Kind of a requirement when your Archmage ends up taking a lot of damage. Generally you'd prefer to delay it if possible. But I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
That's right.
Yeah, these Headhunters getting spread out everywhere is a bunch with low health.
Yeah, these are dangerously low. Steps all fall down very quickly.
Yeah, we might
that's
even...
the worst feeling in the world, giving up level 2, especially to the AM.
Oh, he does get level 2, and we might actually see him try to chase down some of these other ones now that he has aura, which means like the level up gives him more stats, more mana, aura, so he can continue summoning water elementals more effectively. And with those extra elementals, you might be able to pick off some of these other Headhunters. We see in the base he is just about to get one. He does get one. Another one he's going to chase down. Needs to be a little careful with his Archmage here though, because he might have to TP.
Oh.
Does have to TP. Loses his footman. And level 2 from the Farseer. He actually managed to militia creep the left camp in the meantime as well.
And at this point, it's looking pretty grim here for the human. He's got 2 hurt footmen, Archmage at 70 HP.
Yeah, it's definitely a little awkward for him. I do think getting the Headhunter count down will help a lot though, because it means the creeping will be slower for the Orc. And human, as far as human creeping goes, you can still use, you know, water elementals, militia, and then once you have some priests out, you can heal up pretty effectively. So human can still creep fairly well, whereas Orc's going to have to expend a lot more salves with such a low unit count.
Definitely gonna lose a Headhunter here, I think.
Yeah, you should be able to get that, I think, with one more bolt.
Oh.
It's close, but you should be able to get one of them at least, yeah. But yeah, once MK comes out, it becomes a lot scarier for these Headhunters. We does need to be very careful with his Archmage though. There is a stomp available. Uses on the footman instead. Archmage does have a potion, but Dazzle needs to start considering getting out now. His heroes are both weak, and without his heroes there, his footman just won't be able to accomplish much. I think this is actually pretty decent for Dazzle now, especially with those 2 more Headhunter pickoffs. xeSeek's army is just not suited for creeping, except for, you know, the wolves. And not
this
being
is
able.
exactly what Dazzle wants, making sure that xeSeek isn't able to get up, you know, that large count of Headhunters. So it takes, like you said, slows down his creeping.
A player's forces are under
Definitely
attack.
hurts big time for the Orc.
xeSeek actually going for quite a big creep here too. He might take quite a bit of damage from this. I mean, it is just a bunch of level 3s, but that level 6 plus the roar coming off, I'm putting a lot of damage. See the TC dropping really low here. Does manage to get it and gets bone chimed, which is pretty good now that he's converted to grunts. Human, on the other hand, has his breakers coming out. I'm a little surprised he didn't get some priests first, especially with how effective they could have been with the state of his army and them having kind of lowish health. But I'm sure he will eventually mix them in, although he is getting sorcerers first, after the priests. Or after the breakers, I mean. Yeah, we got xeSeek on the other hand, starting to mix in an armor upgrade, shaman adept training, Kodo. So pretty standard stuff, same as we saw from last game. Headhunters into grunt shaman, and a couple bestiary
A
units.
player's forces are under
And we
attack.
see some wolves getting stolen here, so he already has control magic.
That's 4 wolf.
Will be interesting to see if he gets some use out of these. Probably want to start creeping with them, or sending them to the peon line can actually be quite effective.
You know, big difference here. Game 2 for xeSeek. You know, at this point he was, 10 plus food above Dazzle, and now he's looking down 7 food. Looking like he's trying to creep jack here, so I don't know. What do you think? Do you think he should do this, or does he need to back off, kind of level up more?
I don't really like the creep jack from xeSeek. I think he needs to get level 3 TC. I think the MK has a little bit more effectiveness because you can still rely on Bolt in these small fights. But TC, like, you really want that extra level of stomp. The longer duration, the little bit more damage from it helps a lot. Yeah, we do see them kind of contesting each other here. And it'll be interesting to see if xeSeek completely backs off or if they go into an actual fight here. Looks like they're just going to creep side by side. Oh, and
It's
yeah,
a very awkward position for xeSeek.
you see a bolt clap coming out, and that TC is dropped weak really quickly. Kodo comes in, gets a munch off. But this army of xeSeek's just starting to collapse a bit. The MK does have an invuln, plus Wand of the Wind on the Farseer there will help. Needs to use the invuln soon, and needs to somehow maneuver his MK out or pass the heal potion. Pass the heal potion! Oh no, MK! Okay, there's actually no chain. He's 30 mana short.
Oh no.
He did have a heal potion, but he opted to try buying Invis instead, and that just didn't work out well enough. The human army, however, is still still pretty strong here. I guess there are a lot of grunts still left too, though. But these wolves will actually turn the tide here, I think, especially with the orc heroes not having mana to use here. Does need to be a little careful with these orcs. I think the big thing is Dazzle just does not have priests here. If he had priests, those sorcerers would have like never died. There's just not enough damage against priests, but he just didn't have them. They should see pick off on the Kodo is huge. Both of
xeSeek managed to do a lot better than I thought he was going to do, honestly. Especially having that TC out front, getting down to about half health right at the beginning. Did a really good job.
Yeah, xeSeek definitely played that fight out better. I do think Dazzle's still in an okay position, but it is pretty even now, I believe. Because the MK should be able to reach 3 pretty quickly after he gets back out. He'll likely creep the gold mine at the bottom right. xeSeek will also likely creep for a while because his mana and his health is quite low on both heroes. And then yeah, it's going to likely be passive for a while. I don't think we'll see aggression.
Yeah, and back to creeping we go. xeSeek's definitely has the hero advantage. But I think he has to make sure that he doesn't leave Dazzle alone too much. Don't want that MK to get too crazy with the levels himself.
Yeah. And Archmage has reached 4, which means he has level 2 Aura, and since he's holding a Tome of Retraining, he will have level 2 Blizzard again. And we saw last game, xeSeek just did not handle the Blizzard clap very well and ended up losing quite a few units, even with his huge army advantage. So if that can happen again, you know, Dazzle could be in a good spot here. His items on the MK are kind of awkward though. He panic bought like Invis and Protection when he tried to save it, and now they're just like, what do you do with that? I guess the Invis is still useful, but generally you would just use your own sorcerers for that.
Right.
With adept training. Yeah, now he has some priests on the field. His MK is level 3, so those claps are going to hit hard. I kind of disagree with stealing wolves in some of those cases like this. I feel like you'd rather just take the experience, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He took some half HP wolves that weren't really doing anything. Does get a bolt off on the Farseer though, dropping quite weak, and he is slowed as well. The MK might be able to get another bolt plus clap off. Blizzard coming out, immediately stopped. He actually went for level 2 bolt rather than level 2 clap as well. So not as much focus on AoE damage and more of just single target bolting, I think. And the AoE damage coming from the Blizzard instead. Nice ensnare to stop the Blizzard. But this Farseer got caught out. That level 2 bolt hits hard and Farseer does fall. MK a little caught out, does use his invis potion to escape. And now the Blizzard will clean up. There is still one priest on the field, I believe, but it is quite weak if he can manage to take that out. Oh, clap coming in. Actually doing quite a bit of work, even with just level 1 clap. TC trying to get in, but xeSeek calls the GG. Just did not have enough in that fight. Caught off guard with his Farseer as well.
Human AoE is powerful.
It is definitely powerful. I think xeSeek just didn't have enough like heal scrolls. Probably didn't want to take that previous fight to begin with. I think it would have been better for him to back off. Because he didn't have level 3 TC.
Definitely.
And yeah.
And you know, once you get beyond, once you're getting well into like tier 3 into the late game, man, you really need those heal scrolls. Like you said, you got to have control of that shop because the never-ending Blizzard and clap is incredibly tough to deal with.
Dazzle 3. Yeah, it was weird to see. Why did all of our ping jump to him? I guess it's because we're on South America. How come yours is at 600? Oh,
I'll be right back. You can continue on, sir.
You got a ping from Mars, bro.
From the moon.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that Dazzle went for level 2 bolt instead of level 2 clap though. Especially with the composition he had, right? He went Blizzard, so he wanted to focus on AoE. He had breakers, he had casters, like it just screams clap, not bolt. I'm not sure if it was a misclick or if it was intentional. I mean, bolt is of course powerful, but that clap AoE, like the extra damage from that could have helped a lot as well. So I don't know. It did work out. He did win. But I feel like it could have been even better for him. But yeah, Blizzard can definitely be very powerful. It is interesting to see how soon Dazzle switches to it as well. I feel like it's a lot less common to switch to Blizzard at all unless you like have an expansion. But he's managing to find the time to do so and the gold to do so. It looks like our third map is going to be Last Refuge. This map can be quite interesting. Might see some more mercenary usage, for instance. Not sure if xeSeek knows too much about like the peon steel block and whatever for the merc camp, or if Dazzle will be able to just snag the Shadow Priest and start dispelling wolves. Because I think xeSeek won't be prepared for that.
It's rude. Abolishing wolves is rude.
It is quite rude.
Don't do it.
But yeah, I'm not sure if xeSeek does anything with his peon near the merc camp. So if Dazzle has practiced pulling the camp just to purchase the Shadow Priest, that could be a good way for him to get an advantage right away in this game. Okay, we see at the bottom left our orange orc player xeSeek, likely going to see Farseer again. likely headhunters at the start as well, but we shall see. And then at the top right, our blue human Dazzle is looking to play standard again, which is definitely not unexpected. His altar is a bit away from all the creeps. Generally you want your altar closer to the creeps, but small things, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, since xeSeek is doing this, I guess Kiwi Kaki style of play,
Yeah.
I definitely think this is a good map since there's a lot of creeps around the maps for him, especially if he decides to venture over to Dazzle's side, take a couple greens or maybe an orange. So a lot of creeping potential, especially a lot of harassing potential as well if he catches him at the Merc camp.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of these creeps can also die just before your wolves die as well, which helps a lot when you're not taking any damage on your actual army. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Dazzle goes first. If he pulls the Merc camp to buy the Shadow Priest, or if he just creeps the Merc camp with a pull. xeSeek is sending his peon there, so it looks like he is aware as it's a possibility, or maybe he's just trying to see where the human goes. I think normally you have your peon on the left side near the tree, right?
Yeah, usually.
Looks like he's scouting for a footman, maybe. But he's not really putting his peon next to the Merc camp. He just has it trying to spot the human.
He's been
So I think that's
studying up.
Yeah. But I do think usually if you try to steal the priest, you put the peon closer right away. But yeah, it looks like he just wants vision of where the human is. He knows the human should be at the small green. Unless, you know, he did some fancy things. But he has a wolf scouting the other side anyways. Dazzle does clean the first camp up pretty easily, but one of his footmen gets ensnared. Might see some chip damage on that. Or maybe he'll just keep going for the Archmage.
And xeSeek's really got to be careful here not to feed any wolves. Because last game, he did manage to give Dazzle level 2.
Yeah.
By losing one, he lost 2 or 3 wolves, I believe.
Saw some headhunters too.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, we do see tech coming out. He did actually build an extra peon this time. I believe last time he didn't. Maybe he just forgot and had it originally wanted to, not sure. Yeah, we have a healthy count of footmen out already.
A player's forces are
We have an arcane just about finished. So the human's actually looking decently strong army-wise and pretty safe in his base. But he does still need to reach level 2 at some point and probably get defend as well. xeSeek just doing some kiting, get some nice damage off on one of those footmen. Dazzle will have to pull back here soon, I believe. You don't really want to chase the orc too far, especially without like defend, because you're not going to be able to do much in his base. Does manage to block the headhunter a bit though, might be able to pick this one off. Just needs 2 more hits, I think.
Oh boy.
Oh, gets the headhunter, that's huge.
I get by doing that.
That's actually so huge. However, I still don't really like him chasing this far. Like, we see him losing a footman in return. He also has 1 footman, I think, that he sent back at some point. I don't really know where it's at. And then he has this other footman that's extremely weak.
A player's forces
I think
are
he's
under attack.
kind of overextending himself by chasing here.
Yeah. It looks like xeSeek mismicroed this headhunter a bit though, and it is going to die. Probably waking up the creeps though. No XP for the Archmage, which is actually huge. But at the same time, you know, that is 2 headhunters down, which is pretty big for the human side. Usually the orc does not lose units like that in the early game.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate he's losing the headhunters that way. Because last game he did it a couple times as well. Managed to get them out during the fight, but just forgetting about them when they didn't make it to the base.
Dazzle with some nice blocks again, getting a lot of damage on this Farseer. Does have a replenishment potion and of course access to salves with the shop already up. So he should be fine in the long run.
Next
But,
kill gets level 2.
and there's
like
a
it's gonna go
footman
Seek.
dropping, and the
There
orc
it
is
is.
out leveling the human. That's
Dazzle really gotta get out.
yeah. I feel like this sort of aggression can be good for the human, but it has to be after you already have defend. But I don't think defend was even... I don't think he ever researched it, and he's already like tier 2. So I think he should have just focused more on creeping himself, getting his Archmage level 2, level 3. Nice deny on the elemental there though. Yeah, we do see a TC coming out and an MK for the human. Roughly the same time. It's going with 3 peons on both sanctums.
Yes, speed build.
Wants to get those sanctums up as soon as possible. I think 2 peons on each is actually fairly common, but 3 is a bit excessive. Especially because I don't think he's going to be able to even produce 2 units right away after they finish. You can't even produce 2 of the cheapest units, the priests, instantly. So maybe a little unnecessary to power build both with 3, but we see him getting some creeping done now. Seek going for a pretty big camp, gets true shot aura, which will help a lot while he still has these headhunters. And shaman later.
Players' forces are under attack.
Wand of mana stealing for the MK. Not bad, I guess. Honestly pretty decent. It's just a lot of extra micro to always be using it on stuff rather than just clicking and having your mana.
Yeah, very true.
But it is pretty good to be able to sap the TC's mana and of course get more mana for your MK. Like that's exactly what you want in this matchup. More MK for your big tank in the front
And Seek looks like is putting up an expansion here at 39 food.
Seems it's pretty early, but I think you can get away with it as orc, especially when you have a high count of headhunters like this. It'll be up to how well he can defend the 50 food push, which actually will be coming quite soon.
Yeah, probably right. Oh, actually, oh, okay, it's just the Farseer. I thought his whole army was over here.
Yeah, Dazzle looking to get some more levels here. Does keep his Archmage nearby, so the MK's level 3 will be delayed a little bit here. Seek just trying to slow down the human, but he might get surrounded, and he does get surrounded. He will have to expend his TP here. Very nice by Dazzle to get that off. And his MK reaches level 2. Archmage still leeching XP, but maybe he'll feed solo XP at like the Merc camp and get level 3 off that. Or maybe even the red. I think humans can actually take the red pretty early because of their casters and breakers. Be interesting to see where he goes.
I would like to see him go over to the red, but it looks like he's going to cross over here and look for a fight, possibly.
Yeah, very interesting pathing. Maybe he was hoping the shop is here, but it's a little unrealistic. Might be able to
be careful here.
might be able to actually spot that TC out, who is quite low, but he does have an Ankh, so not the end of the world if it gets picked off. I don't really like that he just used a heal potion on the TC though. That seems like a very weird choice. And he has not salved it either.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely could have just settled with the salve there on the TC.
Yeah, it felt quite unnecessary. I mean, maybe you can buy the heal potion like you did, but I don't see the reason to use it, especially when you have like an Ankh and an Invuln as backup. You had time to salve because the human just backed off. But yeah, I think this was actually quite a misplay from the human. He's effectively done nothing for the last minute, and he still hasn't reached his level 3. Meanwhile, Seek is 3-3 and has his expansion up. Does still need to saturate it though, because there's only 1 peon currently there. should probably bring over some wood peons because he has lots of wood. Yeah, fight breaking out. TC slowed. Lightning shield is active on it though. The humans
brought
bring
the boys.
the police. The police
Police
have
are here.
Oh, Farseer getting
Mana
cut out.
food.
He's self-blocked with the Kodo. Popped his roar scroll. Farseer, can he
Oh,
get out?
calculated.
4 HP. Yeah, I think this is actually a little bit of a misstep from xeSeek though. He really did not need to engage out this far. And he kind of just got his Farseer weak right away, so now he's not getting any extra damage in from that Farseer. Kodo gets picked off. And yeah, his gold mine here did not get saturated, even though he has plenty of peons at base. I think he really just needs to purchase a bunch of mercenaries and send his peons from his main and not build peons. Like if he cancels these two that are building, gets an extra 150 gold. You know, purchase another mercenary or something. Because you kind of just have to hold this at this point.
Yeah, I agree. He definitely needs to have the army size to hold this.
Yeah, these orc heroes are looking kind of gimped at the moment. Not really any mana left. 50 mana on the TC. Uses the invuln, but he's just not doing anything. There's no mana. MK, however, does have a clap available. Hits all of the headhunters and a couple of peons. This human army is just overshadowing the orc right now.
Players' forces are under attack.
Do see a level 4 TC. He is starting to get close to another stomp. And he is killing some units. But if the human keeps producing properly in the background with his 600 gold, I think he should slowly start to take this. He can always TP out if he's starting to get overwhelmed. Does get the TC kill before a stomp comes out, but there is an Ankh that will bring him back. No mana though on the TC. And the MK starting to drop low. Does have one more spell to use. Gets a bolt off. TC is kind of surrounded right now. And it looks to possibly be going down. Manages to escape. There is 2 slows available. They just now go off, but on the grunts instead. And the MK. The MK!
Oh my goodness.
He lost the MK! Oh no!
Oh no!
This is still really close though. xeSeek's managing to get his expansion up and running. And Dazzle's just losing a little too much without actually getting these hero kills. We also see a shop now, which actually can be instrumental in keeping xeSeek alive here. Because he really needs to continue just chugging potions on his heroes at this point. TC a little caught out though. He's slowed. There's wolves, elementals chasing him. No more slow though, and he manages to run away with 30 health.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
What?
breakers!
Oh.
Block! Oh no! That 20, 28, 27 health TC.
A player's
That's a fast cow. He's got that level 2 endurance, bro.
Old Stormhoof. With speed.
Yeah, xeSeek's actually managing to come back. I thought Dazzle was going to take this, but then when xeSeek finally brought his wood peons over and started pumping some gold out, and Dazzle just a little bit missed macro as well. He was at 1,000 gold literally like 5 seconds ago. So I think Dazzle just needed to continue producing a little bit better during that fight, really. He definitely could have had more units.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, xeSeek now has a Wyvern. His Farseer's almost 5. TC as well is 4.6. This is starting to be really scary now for the human. And he kind of needs to break this because he didn't counter Expo.
Definitely needs to make a move here. I believe that was his window right there to kind of turn the game in his favor, and unfortunately not being able to take this down, I think, might be the end, but we'll see if he can fight his way back.
He is bringing out the police, looking to maybe counter expand now. I think this is generally too late at this point. Because I believe Seek... Yeah, Seek just reached level 5 Farseer. And as we saw from 2 games ago, I think, when he reaches that level 5 Farseer and has those level 3 wolves, the harass from them is just just devastating. It's really hard to expand against that without like 3 arcane towers, magic sentry, and yeah, you need a lot.
Oh, and actually it looks like he went level 3 chain.
Oh, he did.
Go with that.
That's I mean, I think that's actually somewhat standard, but at the same time, situationally, I think an expansion is all he has to worry about, so the wolves could have had some value to just deny that. Yeah, maybe he's just
it's always nice having invisible wolves to the gold mine, you know?
Yeah, maybe he just feels confident that as long as he has the damage from Chain Lightning, he'll be able to do enough in the fights. Not too worried. I mean, he is 5/5 now. Managed to take the red, gets a Medallion of Courage again, which is pretty strong on the TC. It's not an aura item, but it is pretty strong for the extra health and mana.
And Seek's been macroing pretty well. Right now, I believe he's going to buy a few items here, but he's managed to keep his food count up. And right now, he's what, 13 food along with that expansion, so things are looking pretty good for him here.
Dazzle has managed to get his expo almost up now. Has 2 more peasants on the way. I actually would like to see him pass these circlets over to the MK to get more mana and just stats in general. Otherwise, MK does get another 5 int from this Hood of Cunning. Definitely not an ideal item though. Quite a bit worse than getting the Medallion of Courage, for instance. There's actually a Wand of Illusion there. That could be a pretty big item if someone grabs it. But yeah, both heroes dropping weak. Seek manages to TP out just in time. We see 1 kill on a priest. But I think that's actually very favorable for Dazzle. Being able to fight off the orc is huge because what he wants now is just to buy time for his expo to start paying off.
Oh yes, and I believe he's definitely done that. Being able to get Seek out of there so quick. Now he does have time to... What is he building here? A couple Sorks. Getting some upgrades. I think he's going to be able to even hold this off once again with a little bit of a back and forth.
Yeah, Seek does immediately go back in. Gets his TC burned a little, but... And just a stomp on just the MK, not on the units. The casters of Dazzle a bit caught off guard though. They're fighting the creeps. And the Archmage is now the focus here. We do see a nice second stomp though, hitting most of the casters, and the Wyvern are going to town on them. Those casters are dying extremely quickly. They did not really get much effectiveness. But Seek's Farseer, oh my, he used everything. He used like Heal Scroll, Potion, and something else. Speed Scroll. I think he used 3 different items like at the same time.
I think Dazzle committed a little too much there.
Yeah.
He had to act a little bit more, be a little more cautious, and now he's had a lot of losses here now.
Yeah, I think he just wasn't prepared for Seek to come back so quickly. And he goes for level 3 Elemental as opposed to Brilliance. It might be the right choice here against this huge Wyvern count. But there is still a couple Shaman with lots of mana that can purge it. Seek does decide to back off now. His heroes do have quite low mana. And now it'll just be up to Dazzle to kind of push really soon. He's got 500 gold left in his mine. And can't really expand realistically anymore.
Yeah, Seek's in a great spot here, just sitting back on the advantage of his expansion.
Okay, we do see a retrain to Blizzard rather than going with those elementals. And he is definitely very favorable of more damage as opposed to the Brilliance Aura to help his MK and casters. You will oftentimes see the Archmages in this matchup go more for Brilliance Aura just to keep the mana topped off, but you know, sometimes Blizzard can also carry. You don't always need it to be Clap, I guess, to do everything, right?
Yeah.
Clap's definitely really good though.
The Clap's pretty good.
He did forget one Sork in his base though. And his gold mine is run out. I wonder if xeSeek will bring peons at all for the fight. I'm not sure if it's even good though, because Blizzard is just going to get free kills on them if he does. He could, however, maybe load up the burrow with peons. That could be a usefulness with all those extra peons he has. The police are moving out. Humans getting ready to fight.
Manor police.
Wait, steals a wolf. Brute strength coming out. I think he forgot that.
Oh man. Wow, that's the meta right there. You gotta wait.
Oh man. We got like 5 grunts, 77 food.
Oh look!
Oh,
Fucking Blizzard from the top of the hill.
Old man on the hill. I'm gonna watch out for that.
Bad manner.
Oh my god. Seek's definitely way ahead, but if he gets caught out against some of these claps and blizzards and gets some bad stomps off, this could very well go in the human's favor.
Look at this cheeky bastard up here.
So Seek seems willing to just let quite a bit of this die. He doesn't really like the positioning, I guess.
Oh,
he does have a lot of
no.
Wyvern though, and oh, there is just not much to counter that. Okay, we do see the slow coming out, which is very powerful against Wyvern, but otherwise, you know, there's only like 3 rifles and then some casters. Blizzard's also quite hard to hit because of how fast they can move without slow. Maybe he could get a blizzard here though, now that they're slowed. Moved his Archmage the wrong way though.
A player's forces are under
I think he
attack.
should maybe try to keep one of the priests healing his Archmage if possible. And he should probably just blizzard more, to be honest. Like, Archmage does not really run out of mana at this point. So you can just even preemptively blizzard where there's no units if you want to just like zone in. Okay, we do see blizzard coming out, clap coming out, shaman dying quickly, and with no shaman left, there is still one, but without any, it's going to be hard to track stuff down. The casters, however, dying quickly. Now without those casters, it's extremely hard to take a sustained fight for the human. Seek just going for the focus. Archmage drops. Next comes the MK. And yeah, there's just not really much left anymore for our human. They were pretty close games overall. I think Dazzle had some opportunities there. I think even in that last game, he was ahead when he first started his push at the bottom. But I don't believe he kept producing as much as he could have mid-fight. And there were some points where he reached like 600 and then like 1,000 gold. As well as getting his MK picked off by like the last hit or something on it. So just a small things that if Dazzle had fixed, probably could have put that game in his favor, because Seek hadn't really managed to get his mine up and running very quickly. He forgot to pull his peons over until like after Dazzle attacked, and yeah.
A few mistakes there by Dazzle at the end. Unfortunate, but these was a really close series, honestly. I mean, that battle there, I don't know. in the middle over by Seek's expansion was like, how long? And a few times we
Yeah.
think one person was winning, and then the next second it's somebody else.
I think that's also just kind of the nature of human versus orc as well. It can look very back and forth because it's a lot about the heroes at some point and like how effective their stomp and clap can be, just keeping them in good positions, and then how long you can sustain with heal scrolls versus priest heal and stuff like that.